Welcome to BMC's Control-M Batch Impact Manager overview video. In this video, you will learn about Control-M's Batch Impact Manager, its benefits, and how to use it. Batch Impact Manager, or BIM, enables you to monitor critical job flows. If there is a potential delay or failure in a job flow, BIM helps you determine the business impact of the delay. It uses advanced simulation based on statistics and historical data from jobs that have run in the past. When BIM estimates that a delay may occur, you are sent an alert, and you can then analyze and evaluate the actions you can take to minimize or prevent the delay. To use BIM, first you identify a job flow that you want to monitor and that has an SLA. This would be a service where on-time completion of the service is critical. For example, a retailer's inventory distribution service. Once you have chosen the service, next, you add a BIM job to the end of the job flow. In the job flow, the jobs that are connected to the BIM job are considered to be part of the BIM service. In the BIM job, you set alerts for the BIM service end time and for irregular job run times. BIM has analytical tools that help you analyze and handle these alerts to determine the corrective actions that you need to take. Let's look at how you create a BIM service in Control-M. In this folder, we want to make sure that part of this job flow meets the required SLA set to end at 6 a.m. To create a BIM service, you add a BIM job to the end of the job flow, as we talked about earlier, by dragging the BIM job type from the job palette. The BIM job is identified by the BIM icon that appears on the job. Now that we have added the BIM job, let's look at the job parameters that are relevant for a BIM service. First, there is the service name, which should describe the jobs in the service. Next, you select the deadline for when the service must be completed by. We said earlier that this service needs to complete by 6 a.m. Note that you can also set the service to complete in a specific amount of time after it has been ordered. For instance, 30 minutes from the time it was ordered. In the Service Priority field, you set the importance of the service from a business perspective. 1 is the highest priority. This is helpful if you want to filter your services according to priority in the service window, which we'll talk about later in this video. In the Actions area, you set rules for what should happen when there is a problem with a job, such as when a job fails, runs too long, or the service will be late. For example, when there's a job failure on the service path, send an email notification. In this area, you choose the tolerance point at which jobs that end too quickly or take too long will trigger a warning. Once you have set the BIM parameters for the BIM job, you can check in the workspace. Now let's go to the monitoring domain and view the BIM service. To view the BIM service, we will open the Service Monitor. In the Service Monitor, there are several services listed. BIM services are indicated by the BIM icon. To view only BIM services, you can select the BIM service filter. There are a few types of statuses that the BIM service can have. OK means the service has not completed yet, but is still estimated to complete on time. Completed OK means the service completed on time. Service is late means it's estimated that the service will not complete on time. Service completed late means the service has completed, but it was late. And last, warning, means the service is estimated to complete on time, but a job on the service ran too long or completed early. Note that for services that have completed, there can be jobs in the service that did not complete yet. These jobs do not impact the completion of the BIM job. For the BIM service that is estimated to be late, we'll try to figure out why it will be late. But first, let's take a look at some of the information in the Service Monitor about BIM services. In the Estimate to Completion field, you can see the estimated time in which the service will complete. In the deadline field, you see the scheduled deadline for the service. The slack time field tells you the amount of time between when the service is estimated to complete and its deadline for completion. For instance, if the deadline to complete the service is 6 a.m. and the service is estimated to complete at 5 a.m., the slack time would be 1 hour. The progress field tells you the number of jobs that have completed in the service and the percentage of the service that has completed. When the BIM job completes, the BIM service percentage appears at 100%. However, some of the jobs in the service may not have completed because they were not essential for the BIM job to complete. Here you can see problematic jobs. This will help you analyze a problem if it occurs in the BIM service. You can also see a list of the problematic jobs in the right pane. We'll talk about problematic jobs in more detail shortly. Also in this pane is a summary of the information we talked about earlier, as well as other details about the service. If you have a service that looks like it won't meet its SLA, you want to analyze why. We can do this by opening an analysis viewpoint. In the analysis viewpoint, you can see all the jobs that belong to the service and the projected start and end times for each job. You want to find out why the BIM job is projected to be late. To do this, you can filter for the critical path. The jobs in the critical path impact the end time of the BIM job. Looking at the jobs in the critical path enables you to zero in on the problematic area and identify the source of the problem in the BIM service. To find out more information about the problem, we can right-click the problematic job and select Projection. We can see that this job did not start because it is waiting for a resource. You can also see which job is using the resource. On the right side of the screen and at the bottom of the screen, you will see additional details about the service. There are other tools that you can use in the analysis viewpoint. For more information, see the Control-M Workload Automation online help. Last, we will take a look at a feature where you can view some of the same information that you would see for a BIM service without first having to create the BIM service for the job flow. This can help you isolate a problem in the job flow. In the monitoring domain, you select the job that might be the source of the problem, and then click Open Analysis Viewpoint. A new Analysis Viewpoint tab opens, and it includes all the related jobs. In the right pane, in the Viewpoint tab, you can see BIM type of information, such as the estimated completion time or jobs in the critical path. You can also open an analysis viewpoint for a folder, sub-application, or application. Let's take a look at what we learned in this video. Using BIM, you can monitor critical job flows and receive alerts if it looks like the service may not complete on time. BIM determines if there's a potential problem by running a simulation based on runtime statistics. You create a BIM service by adding a BIM job to a job flow and setting the alerts and parameters for the BIM service. After you create and then order the workspace that contains the BIM job, you go to the monitoring domain and open the Service Monitor. In the Service Monitor, you can filter for BIM services and view the status and other information for the service. Looking at problematic jobs will help you begin to troubleshoot any issues that may arise in the service. Last, you can open an analysis viewpoint for any job, folder, sub-application, or application, and on the fly, view BIM estimations and information without having to first create a BIM service. Thank you for watching this video. To find out more information about BIM, see the Control-M online help.